What's going on, my friends? For today's episode, we're going to take a look at one of my all-time favorite Casio G-Shocks. Before we do that, let's start the episode off with a quick wrist check. I'm rocking the Patek Philippe 5134 Calatrava Travel Time. Very excited to have this in my collection, and I can't wait to share my experience with you guys. But for the topic of the episode, this is the G-Shock MTG-M900. And the reason why I wanted to showcase this watch, even though I've reviewed it in the past, is because I find myself being more and more disappointed with Casio and G-Shock with the releases that they've been presenting us in the recent past. And keep in mind, all of this is purely my own opinion, but I think it's safe to say that there's going to be more than one of you out there that shares my thoughts on this. I guess for lack of a better term, I just feel like we're getting overpriced garbage, a bunch of analog carbon core, just not my cup of tea, completely not my cup of tea, considering I fell in love with Casio and G-Shock because of their digital watches. And so I just want to take it upon myself to share with you watches from a better time, from a time that I really wish G-Shock brings back in 2022 and moving forward. So enough rambling, let's just get on with it. The MTG-M900 is just a fantastic watch. Not just price, which is fantastic. So actually, let's cover that first. For price, you can find this hovering at around $90 to $100. And that might be, a little bit high price for some. But if you're already in the watch collecting hobby or community, then $90 to $100 is just a beautiful price, considering you're getting a watch that is jam-packed with features. So number one, this is a solar watch. And it's also got atomic timekeeping, or Multiband 6. So you've got a watch that's going to last, more than a decade, probably two. I've heard of stories of people who had this watch for 15 to 20 years until it finally died on them. And they just went out and bought another one of the same exact model. And then the Multiband 6. So on top of your superior quartz accuracy, you're going to get even more accuracy with it automatically updating to the radio towers throughout the day. And yes, I understand that solar and atomic timekeeping are fairly standard in today's market, but we still have to acknowledge the fact that those are superior functions or superior features, and at that price range, you really just cannot beat it. Another thing that I absolutely love about the MTG-M900 is the display. You've got these beautifully large numbers. Everything is clearly written and it's sharp. So you don't have like faded LCD numbers. It's all just right there, big, bold numbers. And you've got the day of the week, the time, the date, everything. It's right there, clear as day. And I really like that. And, of course, we'll go over some of the main features or modes. So this button right here is your mode button. And so you're going to have your world time, your alarm, stopwatch, timer, and then back to your main time. And the hardware here is fantastic. You've got 4 pushers. Well, actually, you've got 5 pushers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your illumination or backlight pusher right here. And the backlight is another thing that's great. It's like this beautifully soft green, turquoise, almost chartreuse color. And for those of you working at like an operational capacity, you're out there, you're waking up at the, dark hours of the night, that very soft glow is perfect when you're trying to tell the time in the dead of night. But going back to the hardware, so the 5 pushers are all very accessible, but tucked away enough so that they're never going to accidentally get depressed. But they're accessible enough to where operating the watch, getting to all of the functions and modes is super easy, and it's just a joy to press. Some of the tougher G-Shocks like the Mudman, those buttons, when you push them, obviously you're going to be able to push them, but they're tough to press, and obviously that's sort of the nature of the beast when you're getting a watch designed to deal with that. But in this case, I feel like you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting that robustness from the G-Shock name, but you're also getting a very user-friendly watch that anyone can use. Whether you are some rough and tough Action Jackson type guy, or you know, you're just working at an office, I think it's a watch that's gonna fit everywhere for everyone. And speaking about, you know, in a more casual setting, that's where I think this steel bracelet really fits in well. So again, you've got all the bells and whistles of a G-Shock, but the more not casual. Yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, casual. You know, it's a little bit more business casual. So this is going to fit in the office environment, but it's also going to be very comfortable on the wrist of like a police officer or a soldier or sailor. You know, you name it. And after all of that is said and done, I have to go back to that beautifully crisp display that makes digital watches so fun and so practical. And it's all sweeter because you know you didn't break the bank with it. One thing that I really like about this watch is it is accessible everywhere. If you've ever gone on like a random trip to Target or Walmart, when you go to Walmart or Target, you know you're gonna find this watch there, and there's nothing better than just going on one of those random late night trips where you don't really have anything specific in mind to buy, and you know, you just get yourself a little random gift. And you know, that to me, that is like one of the greatest things about watch collecting, are those random purchases that don't break the bank. And the fact that you can do that with this and still get all of those features and functions is a beautiful thing. I guess my biggest frustration with Casio and G-Shock nowadays is it seems like with the new lineups, like all the new releases that you're getting, it's either cheap or jam-packed with functions, but not both. You know, it's like you've got to pay 500 plus, even in the thousands, to get a decent set of features. And then if you're not, and you get more of like a, you know, just a simple $100 watch, it's, I don't know. I'm just not impressed. And again, I could be wrong, of course. This is just from what I've observed, and it's not like I'm heavily tracking their releases or their catalogs. So if there is a great watch out there that you think is a current, present model that meets sort of like my standards of what makes Casio and G-Shock awesome, then please, you're more than welcome to share those with me. But the point of this episode is just to showcase how awesome the MTG-M900 is, and that I just really hope G-Shock kind of starts trending back towards this style. And long story short, if you walk away from this episode learning anything, it's that I highly recommend this one. If you don't have one already, get it. You're gonna be very pleased that you did. I love this watch so much that sometimes I feel tempted to just buy another one, just because I like it that much. If I got a gift and it happened to be the same exact model of this one, like, I would be very happy, even though I already own it. That's how much I love it. And that says a lot about this watch. And I mean, it says a lot that, you know, you've got people who have owned it for 1, 2, 3 decades, and when it dies, they end up buying the same exact one. That just shows you how fantastic of a watch this is. So anyways, that's about it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.